we'll be expecting from the match of Manchester United versus Tottenham. It's going to be a very, very tricky match and a test of how far we've improved actually in the match. And in this video, I'll be breaking down some of the things that you need to know about things you'll be expecting in the match, how we can play, how Tottenham play, and how we can exploit their spaces, or what we'll be expecting in the match in the whole. That is what I'll be talking about today. So if you've not followed me on YouTube yet, I'll drop the link on my YouTube channel in the comment section of this video. So do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get content like this, and also do well to share, like, and comment on the video. So now let's go. Now, Tottenham is a team. I think this season they've been very, very impressive. They've been very, very good this season compared to what they had last season. And now Tottenham is built on a coach that came with a philosophy, Thomas Frank. Now, who is this Thomas Frank? Thomas Frank is somebody who his type of play is energetic, he's able to adapt, and he believes or he thrives more on set plays. So this is what Tottenham is made of. They can see deep, they can attack, and they can play with their keeper. So this a team. You can say it's almost a complete team. But in as much as they are this complete, they have flaws that we can exploit as Manchester United. They have spaces that we can look into and say, okay, if they play like this is what we should do. Yes, they have a couple of good additions to the squad. KUDUS is a very good player. Xavi is a very good player. He's trying to adapt to the Premier League and all. But we can see glimpses of what he's made up of already. In possession, Spurs are very direct. They attack you very, very direct. They don't have time for sideways pass, do this. Thomas Frank doesn't want control. All he wants to do is to make sure that he controls the moment. He doesn't want possession. That is why Spurs are averaging 47% per 90. That's total control or total domination of a match. They are averaging 47% per match, or that's per 90. So it's not a big deal for them. They don't like control, like let me control the game, let me be dominant. They are not in for that. They just want to go direct, hurt you, and come back and sit back. That's how they play. Then, how or who are we to look up for? Who are we to look up to? What are those who are those players that, as we're entering this match, these are players that once we shut them down, we shut Spurs down. When we are able to, if we allow them room, they will hurt us. So number one, I'll be talking about KUDUS. KUDUS is a very, very talented player. Very, very talented player. I think somebody who plays like him in the Premier League, we can talk about India and Everton, then Jeremy Doku of Man City. They play kind of alike. Very good on the ball, very good off the ball. So I think KUDUS now is top 5 in number of most successful dribbles completed, top 3 in most progressive carries in the Premier League. That's to tell you how far he's been instrumental in Spurs emergence. He's been very, very good, very direct. Mark him. When he's on the ball, if you are not careful, you foul him. If you allow him to roam, he hurts you. That's how he can be. He's very good in passing. He's averaging 89% pass accuracy per 90. That's to tell you that he's good on the ball, he's good off the ball. So KUDUS is somebody that we look up to. If we can stop KUDUS, we know that the creativity around Spurs is now stopped. Because when you look at Spurs or when you look at Tottenham, they don't have that much creative player, because in the absence of Solanke, they don't have that much creative player, and they don't have this direct or this focal point that they play to. So if we are able to stop KUDUS, then the creativity from this flank, we're able to stop it. That is one person we should look up to. Then the other person is Romero. Romero as a centre back, he's very, very good. Romero is very, 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 very good. And what are his killer instincts? Forward passes. I think he has the highest number of forward passes now in the league as a defender. He's very good in the forward passes. So how do we, if we can be able to stop Tottenham, the creativity is from this side. The creativity from Romero will be stopped. We're able to cover the spaces so that we don't give them channel to do those forward passes. Because if any pass can move from Romero across the field, maybe to Kudus or to Johnson or to Odi, but we are gone. So that is another person we should look up to. Then Van de Ven, he scored an amazing goal in the Champions League during the midweek. And I think isn't the first time he's scoring that type of goal. He scored that against Manchester United last season when he collected the ball in his own half, ran with the ball, till he gave an assist. And it was like that. So Van de Ven comes with speed and power. If you give him space, he'll keep moving. If you give him space, he'll keep moving. So how do we stop people like Van de Ven? Van de Ven, don't allow him to get on the ball. When he's doing his side passes with Romero or anybody pressing, you give him space to move forward, you are gone. That is one thing about Van de Ven. So these are some of the players we should look up to also. Then another person, the third player or the fourth player we're looking up to is Johnson. Bremer Johnson. He loves scoring against Manchester United. Let's be frank. He was the one who turned Europa League into a nightmare for us. He scored against us in the Premier League last season and he did sing. And he's in very good top form now. He scored last in the midweek against Copenhagen. So Johnson, one thing about Johnson is when it comes to speed, like somebody that can run pacey, he's very, very pacey, he can run, he has the speed and all of that. But players like Johnson, one thing about Johnson is that he doesn't have this take on, he doesn't know how to dribble much, but give him the ball in an open space to run, he shall run. That is one thing about Johnson. So if we're able to stop Johnson from that angle, like we have a defender that immediately the pass come, he can compete with him in space, in speed, tackles, and all of that, then I think that place is also shut down. Then let's come to their midfield. Now, Tottenham will always, or will definitely line up with a midfield with a connector and a destroyer, which is in person of Benteke or and Parfina. Now, Kulusevski is not yet fit, so definitely it will be Benteke and Parfina, or sometimes Sa. But Benteke now is now the connector in that midfield. He links up the defense with the attack. Now, Parfina will sit back, do the destroy. And Parfina is adding something to his game now that it's very, very encouraging. Yes, it's encouraging, but if we're able to stop it, we can hot spot. He's now being involved in the final third. I think he's been scoring a couple of goals and he's been making assists, creating chances. I think that is what he has added now to the game. So the Parfina don't just sit deep to defend now again. He now wants to get involved into the attack, get involved into the final third. So these two people, the link between Bentacle and the attack, if we can be able to stop that, because definitely Spurs will line up with Johnson, Xavi Simons, and then this person, Kudus. That's how their front three will be like. Then either Kolomani or Richarlison will be their top striker. In the Champions League, they started Kolomani. So that line, that is where that three persons, that Johnson, Xavi, and Kudus, that is where their creativity lies. So if we can break in the connection between Bentacle and either Xavi or Kudus or Johnson, I think the threats that will come towards our defense will be able to stop that. Now, because when you look at Manchester United defense, when they are being pressured, particularly from set plays and stuff like that, they are being broken down. Sometimes for lack of awareness, sometimes for lack of composure, sometimes for different things that I can't even talk about. So our midfield must be able to limit that connectivity between Bentacle and the attack. Then things we should note about Tottenham. What are those things we should look out for? Now they are very, very fragile in the build-up. Since Solanke is not around, before now, when Solanke is always around, they go direct to their build-up because Solanke is very good aerially. His link-up plays are very good, unlike Richarlison. Yes, Richarlison is tall. Richarlison has work rates, but he doesn't have this link-up of Solanke. He doesn't have the link-up play of Solanke. So that is what Spurs is missing. So their build-up, if they want to go direct, sometimes the build-up often collapses in the first phase because the person who is to receive the ball is not always there. You give it to Richarlison to drop it off. That is why I think they are using Kolomani, like they are beginning to use Kolomani now. So that is one thing you should note about Spurs. Their build-up is very, very fragile.